I'm interested in just Prince's football journey. He got a late start. Did you see a lot of untapped potential still there with him?
I mean, I think Prince in fall camp will be a different version of the Prince that we saw in spring camp, and that's not to say that the version that we saw in spring wasn't good. But like you said, I mean, he got here. We were probably about staying near a month into school. By the time he got all of the clearances and stuff like that, we're a month and some change into school. So I thought he did an awesome job of putting in the extra work to pick up everything. But it'll be very exciting to see what his body will look like from a physical standpoint once he gets a whole summer to to get the conditioning and get the strength of the demands of the position here at SC. So I think that will aid him. I think it will aid him as well as getting to go out there now and redo all of the concepts and the schemes that he learned in the spring. Because now, as he's going out there to do it in the summer, he's not questioning himself pre-snap. Okay, is my alignment right on this play? I'm running this route. I mean, all of that stuff is, he's learned that all of that stuff is going to become second nature. So I think he'll play a lot faster. And then be able to pre-snap, as opposed to worrying about what he has. Be able to dissect the defense and understand the picture that they're trying to present to him. So now he can effectively and efficiently get to where he needs to be the quickest and the cleanest way he can. I think, it's, like I said, it was exciting to see the work on the front end, but I think it's going to be really, really exciting to see after he's had a little time up on his belt to kind of put his own sauce on it working. And I mean, we saw a little bit of that with B. Rice when we first got here. That spring it was like, well, okay, he's got some talent. And then that fall camp, it's like, oh, okay, this looks like a different kid. And I envision Prince taking somewhat of that same
What about
him and Corey Sims.
overall, just his football development, given that the whole Bahamas background, not having organized football growing up, can you still see that in him, or has that mostly been smoothed out over his first years of college?
No, I think a lot of that has been smoothed out. And I mean, where he may not have played Pee Wee football like a lot of traditional kids that you see here, I mean, he was still studying the game. I mean, he knows what it takes. Honestly, that portion of it made me a little bit more excited about it because okay, he's got an inner passion and an inner hunger and an inner drive to want to do this. Not just, okay, this is what I got put into and, I was pretty good at it and let me see where it goes.
We heard that Xavier Jordan, DJ, really matured from last year, and it was as much off the field as on the field. What have you seen in his growth as a complete player and person in the program?
His good habits are starting to consistently show more. Never really questioned if he was talented, because I mean you saw that in the evaluation of him coming out of high school. A lot of times when kids come to college out of high school and you sit down and you start speaking with them and their parents, one of the biggest questions is like, okay, how fast is my child going to get on the field? And the answer normally depends on how well they adjust and adapt. Some kids it happens instantly. Some kids it doesn't happen as fast for them. And the things that we're seeing out of DJ now, he's starting to adapt. He's starting to get it. And I'll give Jacoby a little credit to this because some of the same struggles that Jacoby had as a freshman, as a kid coming out of high school, DJ had some of those, and Jacoby's been very hands-on with him. Like nah, bro, I made that mistake, so trust me, let me help you. You don't want to do it like that. Let me help you so you don't make you don't continue to make that mistake, or you don't make some of the same mistakes that I made.
You mentioned Corey. He looks the part as a true freshman, but that's just a quick glance from our perspective. What did he show you in his first camp?
He got in here, and I think coming in early will be, if we can fast forward and look back, I think we will say him coming in early really benefited him. Because it's one thing to give guys, all right, here, this is how we run this, or, get them up on the board and draw it up and show them clips. It's another thing when you have to get out there and do it, and when you have to get out there and do it with somebody grabbing and tugging on you. And I think, this spring provided him that opportunity where he was the pig in that situation. He was all in, where he had a chance to get out there and do it and get reps at it and make plays, but yet mess up some things and learn from it. And I think, he's at a point right now with post spring where his confidence is I know I can do this, and I know I'm capable of doing this. So it'll be interesting. It won't be interesting. It'll be exciting to see, because I don't envision him being the same person come fall camp as we saw this spring. Because all of those little nuances that you went through in the first time you do it, I mean, he'll be well past those.
Yeah. I know you have more pieces coming in, but do you have some extra clarity from this spring as to what that third receiver spot may look like, whether it's Prince or somebody else?
Well, I don't really look at it as a third receiver spot. I mean, we're putting our best foot forward out there. So, I mean, if you're going out there and thinking, hey, I'm going to start next and I'm the third receiver spot, then either I failed in the evaluation process or your mentality is not right. So, I mean, whoever we put out there better view themselves as I'm the number one guy out here, because those lead progressions, sometimes you never know where that ball's going. Everybody needs to be out there on the field with that alpha mentality. And I know whether it's whomever we put out there, that person is going to be out there with that type of mindset.
Obviously, it's so hard to keep kids for several years of development, and we've seen it every year. It just is what it is. How much conversation had to go in the offseason to get a Jacoby and a Makai to say, look, we're really invested in you this year. We believe this is the right spot for you. How hard is that process?
I mean, I didn't think it was a hard process at all. It's, at the end of the day, everybody has options, coaches and players included. Either you want to be here or you don't. And if we're having to re-talk you into wanting to be here, then you probably don't want to be here. So, I mean, my conversations with them has been always been about, okay, what are we doing and what do we need to do to give you the best, to help create the best version of you? And for them to understand that, good play, bad play, I'm going to love you and I'm going to care for you. And once again, my job every day when I step foot in this building is trying to help you become the best version of you. I mean, anything outside of that, and it's kind of your choice whether you want to be here, because at the end of the day, somebody's going to be out on that field this fall catching wild football. Your choice if you want that somebody to be you or someone else. At the end of the day, somebody's going to be out there, self-included. Somebody's going to be out there coaching a phenomenal group. At the end of the day, it's going to be me, or is it going to be somebody else? I know what my decision is. I'm here every morning. So, I mean, conversations really work, in actions more so, because I think they're more valuable than the conversations. You guys know that.
On that note, how has the relationship with Jacoby evolved, and having to coach him through some tough moments? And we all know that there's some times last year. How has that relationship evolved? How have you seen him take from that experience?
I mean, I tell all of these guys, even during the recruiting process, I'm here to coach you, not to be your friend. There's going to be days where we're going to like each other. There's going to be days that we're not going to like each other. But at the end of the day, our relationship should be so genuine that we love each other. And much like in a family, with my child, there's days that I got to get on him. Don't mean I love him less, but that's just a part of the process. There's days that, my wife has to remind me of stuff that I may or may not want to hear. But I know it's coming from a place of, hey, this is helping you be the best man and leader of ours. So I mean, I come to work with that same approach. Like, I got to be the best leader and guy in this meeting room or in that staff room, because at the end of the day, the reality of it is people do as you do, and I never know what they're watching. So I do know if I keep myself on whatever they're watching, it's something that is going to help them in the right direction and they can be proud of. My conversations with the players is the same deal. Hey, I'm going to be an example for you, just like I'm going to hold you accountable to be an example for me. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think we have truly bad kids in our program. Do we have guys in our program that we'll have disagreements with? Of course. And that's where, when you have a healthy relationship, you discuss those disagreements, and you either agree to disagree or you agree to agree. But at the end of the day, we all know we got to go this direction. So as long as everybody's going in the same direction, I mean, you're going to have those. And I mean, Jacoby understands that just as well as everybody in that room.
With him on the field, what is the next level he can reach in his game? We've seen so much. We've seen the touchdown totals, the flashes.
The sky's the limit with him. I mean, you can say the sky's the limit with all of those guys, but the sky's the limit with him. I mean, I'm not gonna put a ceiling on what he can accomplish, because I don't want him to walk away and look back and like, well, that was my goal, so I hit that. And he could have tripled. So I mean, with him, it's all right. If you do this, you're supposed to do this. You're that guy. You're him. Let's do it again.
Is there something you want him to unlock this year in his game?
I want him at the end of the season to be able to show that he is a complete football player, and that he has a way to affect and help this team win positively in any form or fashion that he can every time he steps foot on the field. Whether that's on the offensive side of the ball, whether that's on the special teams side of the ball, whether that's, if they need his help in a defensive situation. Anytime you step on the field, when you're in the building, individual battle. And, he's practicing at a pace where he can do that. So we just got to continue to carry that throughout the season, and the same excitement that he goes out in game 1, make sure he has that same energy in game 7, in game 9.
Yeah.
I mean, usually when you get to game 10, 11, 12, I mean, you're playing for something. So that middle, that sub-pass middle of the road where, they matter, but it's not as glaring. Keep delivering that spark.
Makai, obviously, again, guys just showed so much upside last year. What's your big challenge to him?
Makai's a self-driven person as it is, so it's not like I have to place a bunch of challenges on him. He understands what he needs to work on. Chad has talked to him about a lot of things that he needs to work on, and Makai's a professional about his craft. He's committed to doing it. So I mean, it's really, time will show with Makai. And from a skill set, where Makai can play all 4 of the skill spots. And, the sky's the limit for him. I think, I have no shadow of a doubt in my mind that he won't accomplish. He won't accomplish a lot. He'll be a very big focal point on every defensive scouting report that of the teams that we play this fall.
Good deal. I have a